Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today. We're going to dive into something that literally affects all of us, but honestly, it usually feels hidden behind this massive wall of legal jargon and bureaucratic red tape. Well, today, we're tearing down that wall. We are taking the mystery out of public records.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. Don't you want to unlock the secrets of the judicial system right from your living room? Imagine empowering yourself with direct, totally free access to public court information all on your own terms. Whether you're a concerned citizen, doing some deep dive research, or maybe you're just a little curious about a local case, the power to uncover the truth is literally right there at your fingertips. And the absolute best part, it's not going to cost you a single dime.
All right, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We've got 5 quick stops. First, unlocking court records for free. 2, navigating the eCourts portal. 3, mastering the smart search. 4, navigating the public knot portal. And finally, number 5, looking into other essential county records.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, unlocking court records for free. To really appreciate the tools we have today, we kind of need to understand how a massive recent tech shift completely revolutionized the justice system here in North Carolina. I mean, historically, if you wanted to search for court documents, you literally had to drive down to the local county courthouse, hunt for a parking spot, and then manually operate these clunky old mainframe terminals. Or worse, dig through endless paper files. But a recent multi-year project by the North Carolina Administrative Office of the Courts changed the game. First, the districts were restructured in 2024. Then, by late January 2025, those old, fragmented legacy databases, systems like ACIS and VCAP, they were locked down into this restricted, inquiry-only mode. And that paves the way for the unified judicial system to successfully migrate to a modern, cloud-hosted platform called Enterprise Justice in early February. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, take a look at this quote. This digital transformation wasn't just some boring software update. It completely streamlined court access. What that actually means is everyday citizens, journalists, and researchers can now retrieve incredibly detailed dockets and case summaries straight from their smartphones or laptops. It's a totally unprecedented era of transparency, putting the power right back in the public's hands. Moving right along to Section 2, navigating the eCourts portal. So, if Enterprise Justice is the engine running this whole operation, the eCourts portal is your steering wheel. Specifically, we're talking about the Tyler Technologies portal. This system lets you access public records completely anonymously and, again, totally for free, without even needing to register. The workflow is wonderfully simple. First, you just access the portal online. Then, you select the Smart Search utility, which lets you look across everything from civil to criminal cases. You pass a super quick CAPTCHA verification, and boom, you are viewing the Register of Actions. Now, here's a massive pro tip for you. If you think you'll be doing more than one search, just take 2 minutes to create a free portal account. Doing that lets you completely bypass those annoying CAPTCHA prompts every time you search, and it unlocks a My Cases feature so you can actually save your research. It is a total time saver. Now, if you decide not to create that free account, what's really interesting about this next screen is exactly what you'll run into, the Smart Search CAPTCHA security check. It's just your standard I'm not a robot test. It's a tiny hurdle, sure, but it's there for a very good reason, to prevent automated bots from scraping sensitive data out of the system. You just click the little box, hit submit, and you're right through to the main event. All right, let's get to the good stuff in Section 3, Mastering the Smart Search. Getting to the search bar is one thing, right? But knowing exactly how to command it so it actually gives you the information you want, well, that's a whole different skill set. So let's make you an expert. The portal search engine is highly literal. It relies on extremely strict data entry formats. So if you happen to have the exact case number, you have to enter it perfectly. It follows this specific statewide alphanumeric schema. You've got a 2-digit year, followed by the case category letters, then the sequential filing number, a hyphen, and finally a 3-digit county identifier. So as an example, 24 CR 358471-440. And you absolutely must enter that without any spaces exactly as the strict formatting requires, or it just won't work. But don't worry, let's go over some expert troubleshooting rules, because even total beginners can search like pros if they know what to look out for. First, like I just mentioned, absolutely no spaces in those case numbers. Second, if you get that scary no cases match error, don't panic. Seriously, most of the time this is just a formatting typo or a misspelled name. Just take a breath and double check your spelling. Third, if you aren't 100% sure how a name is spelled, you can actually use an asterisk as a wild card for partial names. That'll broaden your results. And finally, keep in mind these databases are processing massive amounts of state data. So if the system slows down or stalls out on you, just be patient. Give it a few minutes and try again.
Okay, so once you submit a successful query, you're going to get a results screen loaded with these blue underlined case numbers. Clicking any of those opens up the detailed register of actions. But if you look closely at these different results side by side, do you notice a subtle difference in how the names are displayed?
Here is exactly how you instantly decode those results like a legal insider. If you see a file with the prefix State of North Carolina VS, followed by a person's name, that generally means you're looking at a civil asset forfeiture or some related civil tracking record. It's basically the digital successor to that old VCAP database we talked about. On the flip side, if you just see the individual defendant's name standing all by itself, you are looking at a criminal case file, which replaces the legacy ACIS system. Knowing that tiny detail is going to save you so much confusion when you're trying to interpret your search results.
Moving right along, let's tackle Section 4, Navigating Public Not Portal.
So we've mastered the online search, but there is a pretty important catch that we absolutely need to discuss, because as amazing as this digital tool is, you aren't going to find absolutely everything on the open internet. The state of North Carolina operates under very strict public records laws, but they also have a duty to protect our digital privacy. So the Administrative Office of the Courts came up with this security designation, and they call it Public Not Portal. This applies to documents that are legally public records, but because they contain highly sensitive, personal data, the state physically prevents them from being scraped remotely from your home computer. So, long story short, you just won't find these on the Tyler Technologies portal.
So what do you do if the file you really need is restricted online? Or maybe it's just an older case that hasn't been digitized quite yet. Well, you go straight to the physical custodian of all court records in the county, the Clerk of Superior Court, Honorable January G. Kennedy. You'll actually need to visit the new Hanover County Courthouse in person, and for reference, that's located right at 316 Princess Street, room 201 down in Wilmington.
But hey, here is the really empowering fallback plan for when you arrive. You are not going to be navigating through dusty old books, I promise. As of June 2025, advanced, fully ADA-compliant self-service kiosks have been deployed directly inside the courthouse. These physical terminals are honestly incredible. They let you perform real-time searches of criminal, civil, and estate cases totally for free, and they even have integrated scanners and document printers right there. Crucially, because you are physically standing inside the building, using these kiosks actually bypasses all those online remote access limitations. It lets you view those restricted public not portal records right on site.
And that brings us to our final section, Section 5, Other Essential County Records. We really need to clear up a very common point of confusion here because not all legal documents are born in a courtroom. For example, if you're searching the court portal for a house deed, you are going to come up totally empty-handed. So let's break down these informational silos. While the Clerk of Superior Court manages lawsuits, criminal infractions, and estates on the eCourts portal, you actually need to go to a completely different agency for property and vital records. Real estate deeds, marriage licenses, and birth certificates, those are legally managed by the Register of Deeds, Honorable Morgan Getty Collins, and you can search for those specifically at rod.nhcgov.com. Meanwhile, things like property valuations and tax assessments are strictly handled by the tax department. Knowing exactly which agency holds which record is going to save you endless frustration, for sure.
Oh, and one super important financial note before we start wrapping things up. While searching all these databases is wonderfully, beautifully free, if you ever find yourself needing to obtain official, certified copies of vital records, like a birth or a marriage certificate from the Register of Deeds, it does cost exactly $10 per copy. You're also going to need to present a valid photo ID and legally prove your familial relationship to get those.
Okay, just before we conclude, I do need to quickly mention our standard disclaimer. This explainer is strictly for informational and educational purposes to help you navigate these public systems. It does not constitute legal advice, so always make sure to consult a qualified legal professional for advice pertaining to your specific situation. And that leaves us with a truly fascinating question to ponder. We've seen how this incredible technology has entirely democratized our access to information. But, with powerful tools come big responsibilities. So where do you think we should draw the line between total public transparency and protecting our personal digital privacy in this modern era? It's a massive debate that is literally reshaping our judicial system as we speak. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on this, so please drop a comment below with your own search experiences. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy searching!